Hi, I'm Dan with Pay Down Debt Solutions. Welcome to our channel. Today we're going to look at an example. This is actually a case I worked for a couple, I want to say 2 months ago, and we were ready to present it. Like we had the meeting scheduled, and they had a very unfortunate set of circumstances. Everyone's okay, but they had an unexpected bill pop up, and it made them upside down, and it's more upside down than I could help them. But just putting this out there in the payoff order, if he got overtime, a side hustle, a second job, something along those lines, and he's able to even this up. Hopefully, I'm going to email him as soon as this presentation's done, and I'll let him know, hey, I did your example because maybe it'll help him out. And that's why we're here. If we're not helping people, what is the point? So, for anyone just looking at velocity banking for the first time, you're not sure if it's for you. It's for everyone. Trust me. Sorry. Just a kick out when people say trust me. It's like that's when you don't trust them. It's not about trust me. It's about the math. And I'll show you. So here's the total income, total expenses. Anytime you're zero or positive, velocity banking automatically works. But you got to get a little deeper to be sure it could work for you before you start it. The way to do that, you'll know your total income, figure out your total expenses, get your non-chargeables and your chargeables, and subtract your non-chargeables from your total income. That'll give you your available income. And this specifically is, say you have to use a credit card for your debt destroyer. You don't have a personal line of credit or a home equity line of credit, something like that. If you're going to use a credit card, this available income is important. If it is equal to or greater, even if it's $1 more, but equal to or greater than your chargeable expenses, velocity banking will work for you. And what you go after with velocity banking is your highest payment. That'd be Home Depot. I didn't write it on here, but this Home Depot card is actually locked, so we can't put any more charges on that. So then we go after the other highest or the next highest. In this case, the Discover card is going to be the debt destroyer. So what's that look like? So Discover's the debt destroyer. Because remember, velocity banking, your cash flow is what pays down the balance on your credit card. Velocity banking is the accelerator. It's the catalyst to really kick it into overdrive, because by putting all your available income onto your credit card and then only charging your expenses out as they come due, and also, just daily incidentals, but we'll say when things are due, every dollar you save on interest by putting your available income down there, lowering your daily balance, is an extra dollar paying down your principal. So you can't make more money out of what your current budget is, but by moving it, doing velocity banking principles, you're going to pay it down way faster and you're going to save lots of interest. And to give you an example, Jen's been politely requesting, and this is probably the third video I've done where I've said it because I keep forgetting to start with it. But let's do a comparison of what we're trying to help them save money on. So just doing traditional payments, just continually making these exact same payments, what would be the total interest they're looking at? And we call that traditional. Now this would be worst case scenario, because of course, I would expect you guys want to get out of debt. Once you pay one off, you're not going to just start spending that money. You're going to be like, well, now I could pay a little more on those other cards. We'll get those other cards down. So this is worst case. This is you just keep making these exact same payments till each one's paid off, regardless of how many get paid off along the way. So that is $34,092, and payoff would be June of 2034. All right, so that's our worst case scenario, doing the traditional banking method of dutifully making your payments every month, which is exactly what the banks want to hear. You're a good, dutiful customer. You pay that minimum payment on your credit card, and you make your loan payment every month. If you're here looking, there's a better way. Maybe you're desperate. You don't want to have to get into debt consolidation or debt relief, one of those predatory businesses. You will look at this. You will be able to do this. It's going to look complex as I set it up. It's because I'm doing the whole thing, 2 years worth of calculations and estimates, all real compressed together, like a 30-minute video. On your own, you're going to have days and weeks in between to figure it out, decide on your next step, change your debt destroyer if you have something unexpected happen, all those sorts of things. It's all going to happen very normally, very naturally, because you're already paying these bills. All it's going to change is how you move your money before you make that payment. So discovers a debt destroyer. So what's that change? First thing it changes, the biggest thing it changes is our available income increases by that $177 payment. Was it to $1,387? This is usually when people see velocity banking for the first time before they really get into it. This is where they're like, this is a shell game. That's why I said it was a shell game when Jen first showed it to me. That's why some people even think it's a scam, because we'll say, hey, you don't have to make that payment anymore. It's satisfied. And I'm going to keep hammering this home every video until all our current subscribers are bored and fast forwarding. And all the new subscribers, no matter what video they look at of me, they're going to start seeing, oh, all right, you explained it. All right, you explained it a little differently. Now I get it. So how's that work? So normally your income comes into your checking, right? And over here you got bills. So all your paychecks. And for here, we're going to say credit card bills, not just any bill, credit card bill. So what normally happens is you come in here, say in this case, you got $4,400. He doesn't get paid, or they combined don't get paid, one day a month. That's just how we do it. We lump it together based on 1 month, based on your credit card. So we say it's $4,400. Well, the available income's $1,210, and here it's $1,387. So it's $1,387 is what's going to go on the bills. Well, normally what you'd have to do is these all add up to I think it's $426. So normally you take money out here, you send $426 over, right? Leaving you less money, right? $3,974. Because you got to make that payment. The way now you make that minimum payment, and if you're just making these the payments right here, like I showed them, whether it's minimums or whether you're just paying a little extra because it fits into your budget. So normally you got to make that payment, and that's what you're left with. Well, the reason we say it's satisfied is because it's let's say it's one credit card, $426. So you got a $426 bill. Well, when you take your available income and you put that full available income on there, you just made your payment. That's why it's satisfied. You just made your payment, right? $1,387 is your payment. Based, in this case, the debt discover being the debt destroyer, it's that available income. So you just made your payment. It is satisfied. You satisfied your payment without having to take any money from your cash to pay it. And then, just like any credit card, you make a payment, it's got room on it, then you can charge on it again. And that's how velocity banking works. That's how the money moves, so to speak. So then you're going to be like, well, how do I do it? How do I actually do it? So what you've got is each week you get a paycheck, right? I'll just do a real short example. Normally I'll do it for 2 months and I'll show how it wraps from 1 month to the other. But basically, you get paid. Until your next paycheck, you look at what are my cash expenses before my next paycheck. Say you get $1,000 a paycheck, right? So I showed you how the money moves, right? How you satisfy the payment. That's the term you'll see velocity bankers online use over and over and over again. And it's an abstract representation of a very real thing, right? Very concrete. That's why I was able to draw it on the board and show it. So let's say you get $1,000. Now in this, here, we'll go 4. This is closer to what this case is, even though he's 4,400. Yeah, I know I broke my pattern. But so he gets $1,000. Velocity banking, you now manage your cash. You manage your cash for your non-chargeable expenses. So if you got a $300 non-chargeable between here and here, that's how much you got to keep back. You put $700 onto the debt destroyer because you got a $300 cash only payment income, $300 non-chargeable expense. So that's what you got to keep on hand. Now, boom, you get another paycheck. What do you have between? Let's say here it's $1,000. $1,000 non-chargeable, which means cash only. Car payments, rent, mortgage, other credit card bills, right? Can't use a credit card to pay a credit card, at least not directly. So now you're going to have $0. $0 goes onto your debt destroyer because till your next paycheck, you don't have any cash. You got to hold all that paycheck to pay that cash only expense. The only part that might be difficult is say this is actually, here, we'll just skip ahead. Say here you got 1,200, right? Now when I write all this, it seems so complex. You're already doing this. You're already budgeting your money. You're already doing, whether it's weekly paychecks, bi-weekly. We don't see too many once a month. We see it with obviously a lot of retired people once a month. But whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, you're already doing this. And because it happened organically, meaning, you're going along, oh, hey, I got a new credit card bill. So you just adjusted. You adjusted. Now you're planning the adjustment. And it might seem like a lot, all this stuff, but it's no different than it was. Just now, instead of managing the whole, you got to manage that cash. You got to manage those non-chargeable expenses, because any excess is going on that debt destroyer to hammer down that debt and save you on interest. So here, if you only get 1,000 on this check, and see here we had 0. This is a tough one, right? Well, you're minus 200. You got to plan for that. If you know this is 1,000, that means back here you can't put 700 on your debt destroyer. Back here you can only put 500 on your debt destroyer. And another thing this illustrates is, don't get too eager. Say you get 2,000 a check. I mean, we've got people bringing in, one business brings in it's a small business, $500,000 a year, and they're upside down. It's not about income. It's about finances and money management, but it's your money you're managing. So here you're going to put 500. So that means you got to carry forward. You got to keep $200 in your checking account, because you know it's going to come. Then you go here, 0, right? Because that 1,000's going here, and that 200's getting carried again. So that here, you've got $1,200. Let's say mortgage payment's typically people's biggest payment. So boom, you can cover that $1,200. So you stay on budget, right? Keep to your budget. Your budget is this plan. When you do all your expenses, your income, your total expenses, you ask us for one of our worksheets and we send it. I got little notes in there. Average out your electric bill, preferably 3 months minimum, preferably 6 months, because then it crosses seasons. If you're North America, we all have seasons. Florida's warm year round, but it's still hotter in July and August. Technically, probably May, June, July, August, September, October, compared to Michigan. But either way, that's why you want to go 6 months. You want to try cross seasons for the big changes like your electric bill. Your groceries, same thing. The longer you can average it, the more accurate it'll be. You're going to see, obviously, it's going to be, if you graph it, it's going to be up and down, but what's your trend line? You want to try to be flat. And if it's miscellaneous, like extra little things you like to buy, well, you want flatter. If you get real disciplined or you get more motivated as you start seeing that debt going down using velocity banking, hopefully you see the trend going down. And you don't have to graph it. You're living it. You already know. You already know if, hey, I spent too much. You just feel it. And you probably feel it when the next bill is due and you're like, oh, crud, I'm $25 short. Oh, I'm going to have to dip into savings. That's velocity banking in a nutshell. What we mean by satisfies the payment. What we mean by chargeable, non-chargeable. Non-chargeable is all the things that are cash only. And it's not physical cash. It means you have to have cash in your checking account to send a payment or send a check or actually pull out cash. Like a lot of people put babysitter on there and it's always cash. And it's not so much babysitter, it's daycare. Someone comes to their house, I presume. But let's get back on it. Let's get back on this person, this couple, right? So available income increases. I'm all upside down backwards. Get in my example, right? So we got our debt destroyer. We're even looking better now because the difference between this available income and your chargeable expenses, it doesn't matter even if it's even. This one can be equal. This one will be whatever that payment, so automatically it's not going to be equal. But that difference between chargeable expenses, that is what's paying down your principal so much faster. The bigger we get that's why you start with that big payment, those big payment cards first and work your way down because cash flow is going to pay it off. If you got someone already positive cash flow, they just got some debts, they just want to pay them off faster, then I'll start looking at saving them on interest because they're already okay cash flow. If you're tight, biggest payment to smallest. Start with your biggest, work your way to the smallest. Every time. That is the best. All right. So we do that. So step one, they had a little bit of savings. I'll make a note right here. Debt destroyer. So you remember why I put my little purple line there? Right? They had a little bit of savings. They're going to pay off. So we want to increase that cash flow. Going to pay off U.S. Bank. And they're going to pay off PH1. That's a medical bill. So PH1 is going to go away. U.S. Bank is going to go away. Available income is going to increase those two payments. It's 104. That's 1,491. 1,491. Right? So look, we're getting every time you'll see it, you'll feel it. You'll feel it because you'll start feeling a little less stressed, Don't let it go to your head. Don't go on a shopping spree. Stick to it. Grind through this. Get yourself ahead. Get yourself where you want to be, where you envision yourself being. So that when you want to go to the store and get something, you're paying cash. You're not paying interest. You're not taking those little, credit cards, basically a micro loan without compound interest. Right? So they pay these off using cash. That's cash from their savings. Right? And now they're working it. Right? That's just the first move. Just get rid of these two. Now they're working their plan. Right? Available each month, available income in. Charge each bill as it comes up. Boom, boom, boom. What happens is they're making these payments at 6 months. The Capital One just paid itself off, continuing that payment. Right? Sorry, I went silent there. I was reading to make sure. So that just got paid off. Yep. Oh, and now you're going to think the math's not working out right. 6 times this. It's because 294 was the initial, and we went back and forth for probably 5-6 weeks before we got everything ironed out. I got all the details I needed, because I'm busy. He's obviously busy too. He's got family. He's working. So really, that's how it went off in 6 months. I wrote, these are all the original numbers, but after talking on the phone with them, he gave me updates. I just didn't include my updates. Sorry about that. So 6 months, paid off, Capital One. Available income's going up again, $25 to 1,516. Write that Cap One. And we're just gaining momentum. Right? Look, he's only 6 months in. He did use his cash. He paid off those 2 credit cards. But that cash sitting in the bank's costing him money. And you're wondering how. I'll get to that in a second. Right? So at 6 months, Capital One got paid off. You just continue to make the minimums. Then you go 15 months. He's going to pay off the other one. He's going to pay off PH2. Right? I'm sorry, he didn't pay it off. It got paid off, continuing his payments. Paid off PH2. Available income's up again. This time it's up 50. $1,566. Sorry, I was muttering to myself. This little thing I do, if I say it out loud and hear it, while I'm looking at the number, I'm double checking myself. It's a nerd thing. Okay, so now we're only a year and 3 months into this. He's got credit card paid off, 2 credit cards paid off, and 2 medical bills paid off. You can't really call them loans. Medical bills paid off. So then I alluded to something earlier about don't leave that money. Now they do how's this? Every dollar you save while you're carrying debt, you're losing money. You are saving some, but I want to explain that. Now they like to have money because they have kids, they've got a mortgage, they like to have some cash in reserves. Perfectly okay. That's one of the first things I ask only on our a worksheet, only list checking your savings balances you're willing to use to pay off your debt. I'm not here to pressure anyone, neither is Jen. We are working with what your comfort level is, right? So how's that work? How are you losing money? Well, look at it this way. Typical savings accounts, 1%, right? Typical savings account, 1%. Let's just take Discover. We're going to make it 25% just to make the math easier on me. So hopefully on the fly here, I won't need a calculator. So let's look at it. You got $100 today. So $100 today. And you got to decide where to put it. Here's why Saving money or investing money when you're in debt never works. You can't save your way out of debt. You can't invest your way out of debt unless you hit a Bitcoin quadruples for you or something crazy, something lucky, let's say. So you got $100 today. So what's that going to do for you? Put it in a savings account. In a savings account, 1 year, you will have $101. While you put that $101, that's $100 you didn't pay on your Discover card. So that means that same 1 year, you earned $1. You just paid $25 in interest onto your credit card, onto that Discover card, right? So really, what'd you save? You didn't save 100. You didn't save 100 at all. You saved $76. So you are saving, but look at how fast you're losing. And now, remember, that becomes part of your balance. Then interest gets applied to your balance, your average daily balance. So let's do the other thing. You got $100 today. Put it on your Discover card. 1 year, you just saved $25 at a cost, right, of the other option, right? So each option comes with a cost benefit. The other option, what'd you do? You lost $1 from your savings. Most people aren't dumping a lot of money into their regular savings, but I've seen, I can't think of it's Ally Bank, maybe you get like a 3.8% savings. So then in 1 year you get $3.80. You still paid $25 to not use that $100 to pay your debt down. That's the cost. You're thinking it's benefiting you. I'm saving money. Great. You're not saving what you think you're saving. So then if you did this and you put it, you'd save $25 at a cost of $3.80. So you save $21.20. Yeah, you come out ahead. Right? See, that's why every dollar, and I know it feels good. I know, especially when you're tight, it feels so good to see some zeros adding up, see some dollars adding up. It just doesn't make sense. It's not financially sound. I'm not going to say responsible. You're responsible. You're paying your bills. You're an adult. You got a job. You got a family. You got stuff to do. It's not the smart thing to do. It's costing you more in the long run, right? So, where are we now? So we're just 15 months in. 2 credit card balances are paid off. 2 medical bills are paid off. Obviously, you're still carrying a balance from the final payment, so you're still paying that down. But 1 month later, so remember, this is only step 2. Step 1 was pay off the U.S. bank card and pay off PH1 medical bill. And then the other 2 just got paid off while you were doing the pay down strategy. Available income in, expenses, charged expenses as they come. Those other 2 things got paid off, which were Capital One got paid off, Powers Health 2 got paid off, right? So those 2 got paid off, just continuing that payment while you were paying down the debt you put on your debt destroyer. So at 16 months, that's why I say it looks so complicated on the board, but in reality, I wrote all that stuff down and they only did, 2 things. They set up their debt destroyer, and then they took some money out of savings and paid 2 bills. When I write it all together, it looks like so much. That's what anyone does. That's what you do. That's normal stuff. Well, so then the other 2 just got paid. Well, each time you got paid, that's more available income to put onto your debt destroyer. Remember, as soon as you get rid of that expense, this goes up because your non-chargeable expenses are going down because it's a credit card or a loan payment or something that's gone. So now here's 16 months is only the second thing you actively have to do. Active step, and that's pay off the credit union card. And to give you an idea, because it all happened so fast and some of it was just paying off. So at 16 months, debt destroyer balance, $7,217. Just to give you an idea where we're at. Sorry, where did I set my sheet? Oh, hold on, I gotta leave you guys for a second. It was too far across the desk for me to reach. Sorry about that. Yeah. So Discover, I didn't write limits, but normally I write it. is a $7,500 limit on a Discover we're using as a debt destroyer. Sorry, just want you guys to have all the available information. And because we just paid off that credit union card, available income's going up again. It's going up by that payment. That $100 payment, easy math, 1,666. And again, that differential keeps increasing. With each time we roll, each time you eliminate a payment, you've got more cash available to put on your credit card while maintaining your budget and keeping your spending nice and level, or as level as you can. Doing what I do, hoping nothing breaks. I had everything break. I had my old truck broke. I had to do a bunch of repairs on that. While I was working on that, Jen walked out and go, "Dan, I don't think the air conditioning's cold. I had to change the capacitor on the air conditioner." Fortunately, it was right when the weather finally stopped being 90 degrees and 90% humidity in Michigan, and it was a few days ago. Maybe it's last week. No, it was like Monday or Tuesday. It dropped to like 75, so that night, we could all sleep because the air was nice and dry and cool. Anyhow, let's get back to it. Right. Okay, sorry, 101. That was my mistake. My totals are right because I always go by and double check all my totals. And if you add it up before and it's one off, the dollar's not going to change that much. I'm human. I'll forget to carry a one once in a while or add a one for that thing. So again, pay down. New available income. Adjust how much you're putting in your credit card. Because remember, once you get all this set up, what are you managing? You're managing how much cash you keep in your account. And the cash you keep in your account is to pay the next bill before your next paycheck. Or if you got a big one coming, it might take 2 paychecks. You got to withhold twice to have enough money for it. Something you probably were already doing, but because you're now splitting between credit card and cash in your account, you got to pay attention a little more. That's it. My goal is not just to explain this so anyone could understand it. It's also so that you could do this process either on your phone or on a laptop sitting on your couch in front of the TV. The initial setup might take some effort, but even that you should be able to do with your laptop sitting in front of the TV. Let's call it couch accounting. Right? So 4 months later, right? So, I almost left out something extremely important. So you pay off credit union credit card. This couple does it with their debt destroyer, their Discover card. You're going to get cash advance interest. If they're at 25.24% and they're Discover now, it's probably going to be like 30%. By law, anytime you pay over your minimum payment on a credit card, they have to apply the principal to your higher interest debt, your cash advance debt. So while you may pay a cash advance transfer fee, 4%, something like that. Well, I'm sorry, that'd be a balance transfer. You get a cash advance. I don't think there's a special cash advance fee. You just pay that higher interest. But you're not going to eat that higher interest, all of it, because velocity banking, you're satisfying your payment. There's that one again. Look, you're dumping $1,666 on it. All the excess has to be applied to your cash advance. So it will cost you a little bit more interest, but in the long run, overall, you're saving way more by bringing those balances over, velocity banking, paying down that debt. So at 20 months, pay off Home Depot. Pay off the Home Depot card. Debt destroyer resets. So Home Depot card is an estimated at $1,618. So debt destroyer resets to $7,053. Again, available income increases. Another card paid off. Increases $180 to $1,846. Right? And then they're rolling. That was just 4 months. Went from one credit union to pay off the next one. Credit union's gone. There. So look at that. 20 months. Didn't even take 1 year, 8 months from now. Didn't even take them 2 years. They got all their credit cards on their debt destroyer. They're only making one payment, which is actually satisfied by putting their available income into the card. And so now I do the good old, my favorite dots, because, I know why. I left their loans off. I left the loans off because I kind of didn't have enough room. I didn't want to write any smaller ones. You guys not to have to like zoom in every single time I said something. That's okay because at 26 months, it's okay because you guys don't need to see it all. You need to see what you guys can use because all your bills are obviously going to be different, but the process will be the same. So SoFi got paid off, just continuing making loan payments. Right? Give me that. And you'll see I'll include my numbers in here. You may do this on your own, but I doubt you'll get into it as deep as me. Available income goes up again because the SoFi was $177, coincidentally, just like Discover. And it increases to 2023. Right? Now, the reason I got to write that is because I had a programmer make a debt destroyer program for me. So I can put in available income. Sorry, I put in balance on the credit card, available income, chargeable expense, interest rate, and I hit calculate, and it spits out month by month, starting balance, ending balance, interest each month, because on the debt destroyer as you're cycling through it. It's an estimate. It's an estimate, just like you see Jen and I always do. We take the starting balance of the month, the low balance after your available income goes on it, add those, divide by 2, we average them, so we get more accurate. The only way to get more accurate than that is the next level up, which I'm not working on at the moment, but it's planned. And that will be plug in the actual dates, and it'll give you like right down within 1 or 2% accuracy of the savings you can experience with the pay down strategy. So I had to reset that because I got more available income to pay it down. So at 26 months, credit cards gone. One of the loans got paid off. 2 out of the 4 health or medical bills gone. So where are we? That's at 26 months. We just got that balance currently on the debt destroyer that's got to be worked down. And what's that take? 3 months. Why does it take 3 months? As you saw, our final available income was $2,023. Our chargeable expense was only $1,103. So we got what? $907. Sorry, $897, I think. I don't know. My arithmetic in my head's off today. It's usually because I didn't get enough sleep. Sorry about that. But either way, the differential's gotten so big, and because we're only at $3,500, it only takes 3 months. At 29 months, I'll just cut to the chase. Quit wasting your time with my explanations. Remember, this is only step 4. You only had 3 after you got your budget, you organized, you identified, and you implemented your pay down strategy. This is number 4, but they only had 3 active steps. That's why you see it all written up here, and you think, oh gosh, I'll just make that call. I'll just call, debt consolidation, debt relief. You only had 3 steps to do once you got set up. You're just living, working the pay down strategy. At 29 months, this step 4 isn't actually a step for you to do. Credit card debt free. Right? So just over 2 years. 2 years, 5 months, they got their credit card debt free. Right? And then we hadn't planned on getting into all their other loans, but they had a car loan. So then I just basically put continue paying off the Kia loan. But now they can chunk it down because they've got such a positive cash flow every month. Right? We're at 2023 available income after paying off all these credit cards, these 2 medical bills. So it's going to go fast. So what do we gain for them? Well, with pay down, because remember, the pay down strategy is not free. Otherwise, we'd be saving you every dollar of interest. Continuing those payments, $34,092. Doing the pay down strategy, debt destroyer, available income, chargeable expenses as they come due. $5,611. And in November, 27 payoff when it's all done. Compared to 7 years later, 7 more years, another almost $29,000, $28,500-ish in interest. So in the 2 years, they're going to save $12,000 a year in interest. Not an exact number, because you're kind of conflating, because you're taking a longer period, cutting it short. But that's the gist of it, because they're going to get it done in 2 years, 5 months, and save $25,500-ish. That's hard to beat. That is very, very hard to beat. And here I got, and I just stopped talking and just read my paper. I wrote the numbers down. They're going to cut off 6 years, 7 months. Remember, I call that a worst case scenario. I don't want to get anyone too inflated. 6 years, 7 months. 4. And they save $28,481. I hope my math is right. Because like I said, this has just been sitting on my desk for close to a month now, since the last time I had a conversation with them. And it was, I don't know if it was a hard conversation. It was a hard conversation to me because I really work hard. And this is not a humble brag or anything else, because I enjoy the math. I grind through these numbers, every example you guys give me, anytime you guys email. And you don't have to be a member. You don't have to ask for coaching. You don't have to ask for a sheet. If you guys got questions, we are here to help. For us, we have other careers we do. We really do this because, people should know this. Because everyone that knows this and does this 3 or 4 months after we work on a plan for them, they call and go, it's working. Thank you so much. I want it to work for you. I want it to work for everybody. I want it to work for him. If he's able, like I said, I didn't write his numbers up here, but he got upside down because of an unforeseen event. If this can help, that's why I'm putting it out here. I don't have the time, right? I can't schedule the meeting and everything. The work, I already did the work. I'm more than happy. I'll put it up here. If it can help him, awesome. I'll email him tonight. Yeah, tonight. As soon as Jen's got this video up, I'm going to email him a link to it and go, hey, I hope things have gotten better. I hope you figured out you're able to increase your cash flow up to your bills. Whatever you got going, here's the strategy that'll work for you. Here's the sequence. Pay these off. Save tons of interest. Thousands, tens of thousands, right? $28,481 in interest. The numbers speak for themselves. I speak on their behalf. If you want to think about it that way, to try and explain them to you guys, to me, it's all just arithmetic. The concepts are tough. The concepts were tough for me too. That's why earlier all my explanations, Jen came in, I just looked at it and went, that's a shell game. They're just moving money around. That's not a real thing. She's like, no, really watch it. Do the numbers yourself. Look at our numbers. As soon as I did, I'm like, why isn't everyone doing this? I hope you guys have that same epiphany. I'm Dan with Pay Down Debt Solutions. Remember, always aligned, never alone. Thank you very much.